Well, help is also on the way for Americans struggling to pay rent. The COVID relief legislation includes $25 billion in rent assistance and also extends the federal moratorium until the end of January. It's a critical piece of the bill as millions of Americans, of course, worry about making their next payment. NewsNation correspondent Marky Martin live in Dallas tonight with that part of our coverage. Marky.
Rob, pandemic pressures have come in many forms this year, and you're right, maybe the most stark example being how many people are struggling to pay their rent or their mortgage on time, as COVID has left so many people strapped for cash. And this new stimulus bill does extend those eviction protections through January, provides billions of dollars in rental assistance. But how does that work, and is it enough? Here's what we found out.
It's horrifying. It's horrifying to live like this the way we're living. So 2020 was a monster.
COVID has not been kind to Andy Ahmad. Like many Americans, he lost his job when the pandemic struck, making ends meet. Now a hurdle he has never had to jump before.
It came to the point where I never had grocery issues in my life, and it was like, how if I pay the rent, how am I going to eat? If I eat, then how am I going to pay the rent?
Housing is the largest expense he has. His half of the Dallas apartment he shares with a roommate, running him about $1,000 a month. He's now in a new job that pays less than what he's used to making, and money just isn't flowing freely like it used to.
Eventually one day I had a note on my thing saying that if I don't pay by that time, I'm going to be evicted.
We met up with Andy's landlord, Ian Mattingly, who is also the president of the Apartment Association of Greater Dallas.
In many cases, 10, 15, even 20% of our residents are not paying rent in full.
Mattingly says in the 15 years he's managed properties, he has never seen a year like this. He says he's understanding and is working with tenants like Andy, who previously have always paid their rent on time.
Even if they're only able to pay 60, 70, 80% of the rent, that's still better than having a vacant apartment as economic activity remains depressed from the pre-COVID levels.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, more than 57 million Americans are renters. As of this month, about 10.5 million of those residents are not caught up on rent, and almost 8 million said they had no confidence in being able to make their next payment. On Sunday, renters getting a relief in the form of the new stimulus bill, which protects them from being evicted through the end of January.
It's a relief, but it's a temporary relief. It's not a permanent thing. We don't know what's going to happen after January then. I mean, okay, I'm not going to be evicted in January, but what's going to happen in February?
The new stimulus package providing $25 billion in financial assistance for households to pay past due rent, future rent, and utility bills. People like Andy counting on that $600 stimulus check to direct deposit.
That $600 is going straight to rent. I focus right now because it's the end of the month. The first focus is to pay the rent. Anything before anything.
We also spoke with Mark Melton, a Texas tax attorney who founded Evictions 2020, a group of 150 lawyers offering pro bono legal advice to those facing eviction. He says this government eviction protection is guaranteed only if you've offered a signed CDC declaration telling your landlord that you've made every effort to pay.
Whether it's from a stimulus check or somewhere else, it's important that you at least make your best efforts.
And his biggest piece of advice to those who are facing eviction is this.
Actually show up to your eviction hearing, because the moratorium does not stop people from filing evictions. It doesn't stop hearings. They're still happening. And if you don't show up to your hearing, then the judge is going to have no choice but to grant that eviction. Despite
all the challenges that the pandemic has presented, Andy still considering himself one of the lucky ones. And again, these eviction protections are an order from the CDC. And just to clear up any confusion here, this does not cancel rent. It does not provide forgiveness of any kind. It just bars renting residents from being kicked out before the end of January. And this does expire come January 31st of 2021. Reporting live in Dallas tonight, Marky Martin, NewsNation.